Well, this is the news that is coming in. India Today first told you about Rajnikanth's upcoming visit to Sri Lanka. Now, Thalaiva has called off his visit to Sri Lanka. Rajni, in his message, states that though he disagrees with Vaiko and other political parties, he's cancelling his Sri Lanka visit. My colleague Akshaya joining us on this story. So, Akshaya, this is what we were talking about yesterday. Whether there will be a U-turn by Thalaiva given the strong sentiments that were raked up behind a Sri Lanka visit.
Well, Devina, Rajnikanth has given a written statement saying that though he's not in sync with Tiruma Vallavan or Vaiko or most of those Tamil groups which were protesting against his visit, he is cancelling his trip right now. He was saying that he was planning to go and meet the president of Sri Lanka and urge him about the kind of situation that the Sri Lankan Tamils are facing. And this is something that he has to cancel now because of the widespread opposition that he's facing here. And Divina, I'll just brief you back on why the opposition was. These Tamil fringe groups, they thought that Rajnikanth, the person who hasn't reacted on this subject for the last 25 years, his visit for Laika Productions, venture of distributing 152 houses was not something that they could accept, because Laika is an organization who, though owned by a Sri Lankan Tamil, have a very close tie with the Mahinda Rajapakse, the former president of Sri Lanka, as well as the current president and his officials. So they're not so keen on Rajini being the face of this campaign, Devina.
Well, be with me, because actually we also have Suman C. Raman, who's joining as a TV personality. Now, Mr. Raman, we've been talking about this yesterday as well. Rajni's visit had raked up political sentiments, but with Rajnikanth now cancelling his visit and claiming in the same breath it's not because of the pressure from these fringe groups, do you believe now that there is the pressure that has finally led at least Rajni team to reconsider the decision?
Yeah, obviously this is a social phenomenon. Yesterday it was all over national media, and today he calls it off. What does it mean? I think it just doesn't speak very highly of him. If he is going to buckle into this kind of pressure from fringe groups, it's a pity. And if at all he harbored any political ambitions, this is not the way to go about them. So he's not going to win too many admirers on this.
So, Raman, here is also the point, because Rajnikanth, whatever the decision that he takes, creates a controversy. Do you believe Thalaiva should have foreseen this controversy?
No, it's not a question of foreseeing. See, you have to do what you think is right. The Sri Lankan problem didn't arise day before yesterday when Mr. Rajnikanth decided to go. He knew fully well, and then he had taken a considered decision. So some small groups start something, immediately you buckle under pressure. What does it say? It's very regrettable that even senior. No, I think the one reason maybe otherwise they might have started a protest around this film. They would have created problems for its release. All kinds of issues would have come. So I think appeasement of the fringe is now the sort of motto of what's happening in many states. Tamil Nadu is, of course, one of the leaders in this.
Do you believe it's a disturbing trend as well, Mr. Raman? Because Rajnikanth's visit was a personal visit. Obviously, there were commercial considerations behind it, like being owned by a Tamilian Sri Lankan production house, so which is also bankrolling a 2.0. There were commercial considerations, but this was a personal visit. Politics should have stayed away from it. Do you believe it's a disturbing trend that we're seeing in Tamil industry?
It's a disturbing trend all over India, where small fringe elements can now dictate terms to anybody. They can tell you which events you should go to, which events you should not go, what should be your agenda. Everything has to be dictated by fringe elements, which is good luck. If Mr. Rajnikanth wants to succumb to them, good luck to him.
No, but I'm also trying to understand, Mr. Raman, that it's Kamal Hassan who talks about Jallikat faces also ire of the government of the day. You have now Rajnikanth, who decided in his capacity to go to Sri Lanka facing fringe group ire. And is this how we would be seeing the Tamil industry dictated by these fringe elements and politics of the day?
It already is the case. I don't think that it's starting now. It's already a trend in, before every big film, there will, of a major star, there will be a controversy raked up. Even if there is nothing, something imaginary will be raked up, and then there will be threats to the release of the film. There will be matters filed in court. It has become a syndrome of appeasement of fringe elements, which is a disaster for, the way this trend has to stop. It has to be reversed. It
So
needs
who
a strong
stops
leadership
it?
to reverse
Who
that.
stops the trend? Because you've had the fringe group who have actually got the support of the opposition as well. So who stops it? Do you believe that now the government of the day should go ahead and act against these fringe groups, ensure at least protection to the Tamil industry people?
No, I don't think the government is also sort of a weak government. I don't think that they are going to take any strong steps and safeguard anybody's, rights against the fringe. So I think that it has got to be some strong leader, hopefully, who will emerge, maybe if not now, at least in the next few years, who can put an end to this kind of menace once and for all. I mean, it is an infringement on the rights of people and on freedom and on democracy. And I think that this is something that has got to be viewed extremely seriously.
So the goodwill gesture from Rajni is what it was being seen as a charity event that he was going for in Jaffna as well. Mr. Raman, last word from you. Now that Thalaiva has cancelled his visit, there was much expectations of how the two groups in Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu could have seen Thalaiva as a brand ambassador of a goodwill gesture from India. Do you believe that Rajnikanth, who has said there is no pressure from the fringe group, I am not doing this because of the fringe group, should now at least plan another trip to ensure that his fans are not disappointed to Sri Lanka?
No, I think, first of all, he should be honest enough and admit why he's calling it off. I mean, it's ridiculous to say that it's got nothing to do with the threats of the fringe groups, which were all over national media yesterday. So, I mean, if he's going to say that it had nothing to do with them, I mean, that itself shows you, how believable that claim actually is. So he's free to go whenever he wants to, and he should do what is right. I mean, rather than what is dictated to him by various people.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
or what he thinks is right.
All right, Mr. Raman, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a voice coming in, very strong voice of Sumant C. Raman, who said that now Thalaiva should not be dictated by these fringe groups. He should plan, in fact, a visit to Sri Lanka, even as he had earlier announced it, should not go back on his decision. And it's the government which needs to ensure that these fringe groups are checked.